Good evening and welcome to another episode of The Leak. If you're new here, I've left a link in the description as well as a link to my short 2-minute video describing exactly what it is. So after the last episode, I struggled to decide where to go from here. The first section of the document makes very definitive statements regarding the predicted outcomes of the pandemic and the Liberal Party's planned actions. It's also point form and provides an estimated time frame for each prediction and objective. And they're all in the past, so it's far easier to poke around on the internet and determine what happened, especially when they're all a matter of public record. The second half of the leak is far more vague and nebulous. It contains no references to a time frame, and the only goals listed have not been met. We do, however, have both the predicted vaccine schedule, as well as the development of a photo identification referred to as Canada's Health Pass. So, let's get to it. If you had to guess how many boosters the CDC recommends you get per year, how many would you say? 2? 4? Wrong. The answer is 6. 6 doses per year. That is a booster dose every 2 months for everyone ages 5 and up. That is what the powers that be mean when they say up to date. This article from Leading Age New York attempts to clarify what the CDC meant, just in case there's any confusion. This article on calmatters.org states that the Newsom administration and the legislature both tried to mandate the COVID vaccine for kids to attend school, and both failed. This Government of Canada website contains an archived article that is no longer in use. It describes a type of digital ID called a Proof of Vaccination Credential, or PVC. It also states that it can be used to access non-essential services such as restaurants and gyms where vaccination is necessary. It states that the Canadian Armed Forces started issuing the COVID-19 standardized PVC on October 29, 2021. It also says that if vaccine requirements change, like a need for a booster, then a new digital PVC will be automatically generated and sent to you every time your electronic health record is updated, and if you meet the requirements for an additional COVID-19 vaccination. Funnily enough, on a different page of this same website, there is a reference to the PVC being required for any air travel as well as trains within Canada. It would seem this was part of the third lockdown, which we've covered already. Still good to know, though. This article posted to biometricupdate.com on July 21st, 2021, describes digital health pass developments worldwide. Geez, they don't even bother to change the name. Health Pass. Here is a recent TikTok of a woman explaining that Trudeau is trying to force the provinces to adopt a digital ID in return for healthcare funding. Let's give it a look.
Emergency broadcast regarding the digital IDs. Yesterday in Canada, Justin Trudeau met with all of our provincial premiers and basically told them that we will not be able to get funding for our healthcare unless the premiers agree to the digital IDs. I will show all the proof. Now, those of you who think that digital IDs are great, they are not. Let me show you what these digital IDs will actually entail when it comes to control. Here's an overview basically of everything that will be included in the digital IDs. This can be found on the WEF website and also on all of the provincial and government websites. You will have healthcare. You will not be able to access any healthcare without this digital ID. Financial system. You will actually not even be able to carry out bank accounts or carry out anything online regarding financial transactions. Food and sustainability. This says for farmers and consumers, you will not be able to get into stores. You will not be able to even sell anywhere. Once they have this system in place, this is where the digital currency will come in. Travel and mobility. We saw that with the Arrive scam app. Humanitarian responses, which is basically just...
They just put all that information out there. Like, this is literally the part of the movie where the villain monologues about his diabolical plan.
Garbage. It's in case something happens, they will be able to track and find you, including if you don't want anything injected in your body. E-commerce, you will not be able to shop online. Then you have social media platforms. You will literally need this ID in order to get TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. No more fake accounts. You have e-government. So if you want your taxes done, any sort of benefits from there, you will need this. Then it gets even scarier. Telecommunications, you will not be able to actually get an internet provider without this digital ID.
Wow.
And they will be able to track you. And then up there you have smart cities, and we all know what those are. Those of you who think I'm lying, here's the federal condition. In order for us to access our money, our tax money, this is basically a hostage situation of our tax money. And what you will see is instigators, government instigators under Twitter, under Justin Trudeau, that basically say we need to push our provincial governments to, get the money so that we can spend it better. No, we don't. We actually need to call our provincial governments right now, today and tomorrow, and every single day until they scrap this digital ID. They cannot pass this without our approval. So
agreed.
So I need everybody in Canada to call your provincial governments and literally tell them that this is not going to happen. If we need to privatize, if we need to somehow get into a different system of healthcare, we need to do that. As for everyone in the United States, you're kind of lucky because your healthcare is privatized. There's also a lot more internet providers, some that will not go along with it because of capitalism. So your money is actually speaking a lot louder in the United States. But Canada, this is coming down the pipeline, and it's coming down the pipeline fast, and we need to act.
I agree. It's like we're stuck in a dystopian sci-fi futuristic thriller. But of course, we don't take anybody's word for it, so we have to find out for ourselves if what she's saying is true. This page on weforum.org has a ridiculous amount of links to articles explaining why digital ID is good for you and will fix all of society's problems. What is it, a curative elixir? Jeez, it's like they're snake oil salesmen. There are 4 pages of this shit. This CBC article describes that healthcare deal. And this Epoch Times article explains that Saskatchewan is refusing to implement digital ID. It says that this private medical data is protected under the Health Information Protection Act. And this Global News video contains Justin's speech. Let's just see how far I can get before I need to turn it off.
The pandemic reminded each and every one of us just how important our health is. It also put enormous pressure on our healthcare systems and on our healthcare workers. And it made us take a hard look at the long-standing issues facing our healthcare. As leaders, we've come together to deliver tangible actions and outcomes today while building a more modern system to ensure results for all Canadians for the future. The provincial and territorial governments deliver healthcare with support from federal funding, which ensures that our collective commitment to the Canada Health Act is upheld. In fact, it's written right into the Canada Health Act that as governments, we need to protect, promote, and restore the physical and mental well-being of residents of Canada and facilitate reasonable access to health services without financial or other barriers. To help ensure that, we're announcing that the federal government will be providing $198 billion in additional federal health funding over the next decade. This includes planned increases to the Canada Health Transfer and new funding of $48 billion over the next 10 years. Obviously, this is a major federal investment in healthcare. But we all know that money alone is not the answer. Each province and territory is facing different challenges. That's why we're focused on negotiating 13 distinct bilateral agreements that will respond to various situations across the country. This will make sure that real improvements are made and accounted for, particularly in 4 priority areas: primary care, healthcare workers, mental health, and health information and data.
And there you have it. It would seem that even in the absence of a pandemic, the Liberal Party is still dead set in pursuing their goal of obtaining a digital ID of some description. If you're wondering why digital ID needs to be avoided at all costs, then you really need to go rewatch Captain America: Winter Soldier. Well, That's all I got for you guys tonight. I'll see you in the next one.